What's up, legends? Welcome to the guide for the main quest Easter egg on Terminus. This guide assumes you already know how to assemble the DRI-11 beamsmasher, so if you still need to learn those steps, check the pinned comment for a link to my video. Once you have the beamsmasher in hand, you now need to beam an active tentacle trap with it to acquire the hard drive. There are 3 tentacle trap locations, one at a doorway in spawn, another at a doorway near Jug, and the last down in the sea caves at the door into the biolab. It seems as though it's random which one the hard drive will be in, so you may need to go to multiple and activate them if you don't have luck with the first one that you choose. With the hard drive now in hand, head back to Peck and Spawn and place the hard drive into the box. Now we need to get a code for the next step. The first number will be located on a clock. If you're looking at Peck, take the door to the left, head down the stairs, and look in the room behind the glass at the clock to see what number the hour hand is on. This will be your first number. Our second number is located in the mess hall, so head past the calibration room to build the beamsmasher into the mess hall, and on the wall you'll be looking for a corkboard with a playing card. The number identified on the card will be our second number. Final number is in engineering on the wall to the right of the crafting table on the safety first sign. This is the room that leads to the C tower in case you have trouble finding it. With the 3 numbers, you are now ready to take on the next step, but I recommend preparing a little bit as this is a mini encounter. It's a bit tough if you don't upgrade a little bit ahead of time, and maybe even grab a few perks. Great way to do so can be hitting up some SAM trials as rewards can be pretty helpful, or even picking up loot keys to use in the armory. I had Pack 2 Epic on the Akimbo GS45 pistols, so they were extremely useful this early on, and we did it around round 16, and it was pretty easy. When you are prepared, head down into the biolab and to the chamber in the middle where you will want to interact with it. You will see Nathan pop up on the screen, and you will be able to enter that 3-digit number we put together. Once unlocked, you will have to turn the valves around the chamber, but if you don't do it fast enough, they will reset, so try to be quick, and if done correctly, an alarm will be going off, and Nathan transformed into an amalgam will come out. This fight isn't much different than a normal amalgam fight, except it might have a little bit more health, so if you don't upgrade enough, it can be quite tough, as I did this step multiple times, and at round 10, it was actually pretty hard to deal enough damage. Even at round 16, with a bit more upgrades, it was obviously a lot easier to knock out. Once you eliminate Nathan, you now need to drop into the water and swim directly under one of the bridges where you will see a glowing key card you'll want to swim down and grab. Now we need to head over to the ship on the map, go around the holds on the left, and take the ladder up inside. Go over to the bench and interact with it. This will start a lockdown, and you'll need to survive within the space until it's complete. Now we need to reconnect some server network cables. There are 2 connectors on the bench, so having a squad is a little bit more ideal, as if you're solo, you would need to come back for the second. We have 3 possible locations where we can reconnect these. The first one is on the island across from the back of the ship. Right on the shore, you'll see the cable. If it looks like it's missing the piece, then you can go up to it, hold your interact key through the progress bar to reconnect it. The second possible location is right under the sea tower near the boat dock, and the final location is in the sea caves over near Speed Cola. With both of them reconnected, head back to Peck to receive the hacking device. We will now need to hack 3 buoys out in the water, so head back to the boat dock. The first one I recommend going to is near the back of the ship we got the connectors from. If you're in a squad, you'll want a person driving the boat to pull the tentacle away from you so you can jump into the water and hack the buoy by holding interact. Now move around the map counterclockwise, and you should actually be able to come across your second, where you'll do the exact same thing, with the final being near the right side of the map by the submarine dock. Now you're going to need to hurry back to the biolab as a 5-minute countdown has begun, where you're going to need to defuse 3 bombs. On the lower level of the lab near the ammo cache is one, with the other being on the opposite side on the same level under the crafting table. It takes a few seconds to do this, so if you have teammates, just have them cover. The last one is on the level just above Melee Macchiato. Once all of them are deactivated, the door to the final encounter is then open next to Melee Macchiato. Before starting the final encounter, this is of course your last chance to flip rounds and complete SAM trials to get everything upgraded and lock in some perks. Bring a chopper gunner to this fight, or even multiple if in a squad is actually recommended, as it could really make things a lot easier. Casimirs are also a really good thing for this fight because it can give you a lot more time to focus the boss. As a side note, if you were using gobblegums, Idolize would be great for this, as it will allow you to lock in 30 seconds during the boss fight, where you'll be invisible to all the zombies and can focus DPS. Whenever you decide you're geared up enough, it's time to take on the final encounter. The first phase of the boss is actually pretty simple. Just avoid getting hit by the boss's main tentacles when it slams the ground, and focus damage on the 2 blisters under its arm. You will also be dealing with consistent waves of zombies, but once you deal the first third of its health bar, the boss will go under the water. While it's gone, focus on the tentacles in the distance, destroying them until the boss returns as phase 2. This time, instead of blisters under the arms, it's time to focus damage on its mouth. Not much really changes as far as attacks in the first 2 phases, so keep watching out for those arms, using the cover in the corners to hide, dealing with the waves, and putting in damage. After dealing enough to its mouth, the critical spots will swap to its arms. After dealing enough to each of the arms, you may see the blisters appear once again before it heads back into the water for the last time for phase 3. Just focus further tentacles once again until the boss returns. Now the waves of zombies are pretty consistent the entire fight, with Manglers starting to spawn in at one point, and now Amalgams will also be present, so just be careful and try to damage them down as fast as possible. When it returns for phase 3, it's going to do a wipe mechanic, so if you're not behind cover or in the water the moment the blast goes off, it's a guaranteed down. Just stand behind cover on the left side facing the boss, as will not damage you at all, where the cover on the right will work, but we were taking consistent damage the entire time, despite not actually going down to the blast. As soon as that mechanic is over and it slams the ground, you can return to doing damage to the blisters under the arms. I would also recommend, unless you have multiple, to wait until the final phase to use the chopper gunner, as it will probably do the most, if not all, of the final damage needed to finish off the boss and complete the Terminus main quest Easter egg. That's going to wrap things up for us here. Thank you guys for all the support in today's video, all support the channel. I look forward to seeing y'all in the next one. Peace!